Coming up next on Chapman News, 2 star football players were found guilty of raping a 16-year-old. Details of Orange County's reaction to come.
And grading Orange County. The 2012 report card is out. We'll tell you how the OC is doing. Hello everyone, welcome to Chapman News. I'm Maritza Villela.
And I'm Nicole Chenoweth. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have a great show for you. It's almost a week since the verdict of the Steubenville, Ohio rape case, and parents and their kids across the country are still talking about it, from the way social media brought the crime to light to basic questions about the safety of high school girls. Audrina Moveza brings us some local reaction.
Protesters celebrated as 2 Steubenville star football players were found guilty on Sunday after raping a 16-year-old girl at a high school party last August. It was not the victim that brought attention to the situation, but social media that brought the situation to the victim's attention.
I think for whatever reason we're a voyeuristic society. Go back to the generations of, what do you do when there's a car accident on the freeway? Everybody slows down to watch. And I think this voyeurism is what you get with social media, and I don't think it's their fault, but I think it's natural because humans want to look at this computer screen right here and see that viral video of, the amazing sporting event or the natural disaster, or fortunately something like this, humans being animals.
As the new school week approaches, both students and parents are expressing their concerns.
After the events of Ohio, I am very uncomfortable sending my daughter to high school. As a teenager in any high school, she is a possible victim of any type of crime, sexual, especially when drugs and alcohol are involved.
We're not always safe at school. And when you're around drugs and alcohol and stuff, that you're not under control, so really anything could happen to you. I feel like just because she was so close, in my age, that it's definitely a possibility that this could happen to me.
The Ohio case was so much about social media. I think if those kids didn't have their phones and had put them down and just watched, then it would have affected them much more dramatically, as it should have.
If you or someone you know has been a victim of rape, contact the Rape Crisis Hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE. Reporting from San Juan Capistrano, California, I'm Audrina Moveza, Chapman News.
A lawyer for one of the players involved in the incident said they plan to appeal the decision.
Public safety on campus is one of the top concerns of students and top priority of campus safety. Reporter Gardner Royce talked to Chapman students about their safety in the local area.
As Chapman University continues to grow, more students are being forced to live off campus. And while freshmen are guaranteed on-campus living, 60% of the student body lives off campus. And with more students in the surrounding neighborhoods, some residents say they have recently felt unsafe around the Chapman area.
Felt significantly safer walking in the streets alone last year than I did this year.
Since Chapman is in a residential town, it's inevitable that students will interact with the local population. However, Weiss says that this year, these interactions have turned sour.
I think that a lot of girls feel threatened now after certain reports of people who sexually have gotten a little bit out of line. It's never happened to me or anybody that's super close to me, but I think for the most part, girls are on a little bit higher awareness, I would say.
Yet for some Chapman students, safety is a full-time concern. Here on Olive Street, less than a block away from main campus, students say they are kept worried by strange behavior that goes on during the night. Earlier this week, the entire street was locked down as area police looked for local gang members.
We always feel like there's a possibility that we could get our house broken into a lot, and whenever we hear noises outside at nighttime, there's always that fear that someone's walking around the back of our house trying to break in. So definitely we get scared by those things a lot.
Reedy said that it's these fears that are forcing her and her roommates to move out at the end of the semester. From Chapman News, I'm Gardner Royce.
Thanks, Gardner. Public safety has been putting on rape aggression defense classes to help students know how to protect themselves.
The House of Representatives has passed a spending bill to avert the government shutdown. Wednesday marked the day that the current government resolution would have expired, potentially causing the government to shut down. With this new bill passed, the U.S. government is clear through the end of the fiscal year in September. The bill also cleared the Senate and waits for the president's approval. On Thursday, the House passed Republican Paul Ryan's plan to balance the federal budget in 10 years. The Ryan plan includes cutting federal spending, repealing Obama's health care law, and giving Medicare users the option to buy their own insurance. The city of Costa Mesa has had issues with the homeless leaving their belongings in public. Adam Herbitz reports from what the council has done to get rid of park eyesores.
The city of Costa Mesa is trying to reclaim its parks from the homeless. City Council passed a motion unanimously on Tuesday, which will allow cops to take belongings left behind on public property. Those items will be stored 90 days, but will then either be sold or destroyed.
We're trying to help the homeless get their items into storage and set up storage areas for them, but we're also cleaning up the parks where they've been storing it under plastic bags and basically taking away the rights of the community to use the parks.
That's absolutely not all right. I think that homeless have rights just the same as any other person of our community.
The ordinance took over a year to pass and contains careful language to avoid lawsuits. U.S. courts deemed a similar rule in L.A. as unconstitutional.
L.A. was unconstitutional because they didn't store it. They just actually went through neighborhoods and they took it all. We're actually taking the items, cataloging them, and then holding them for 90 days and allowing them to come pick up their items again. In L.A., they literally picked them up and threw them into trash bins.
Others complain that the rule is unfair because the current storage facility is too far away from many of the parks. Many residents asked the council to be compassionate, saying it would be too unfair to take away stuff from people that already have very little.
Wouldn't you feel violated if someone started stacking your belongings somewhere where you didn't want them?
The city will also have to enforce the rules slowly, as they're already low on storage.
We don't have a big enough number of bins for the amount of people that actually spend the night outside in Costa Mesa each night. So we have room for 63 people. It's probably about 150 to 200 people that spend the night outside.
Now, one of the things City Council talked about was a potential $100 misdemeanor fine for leaving behind items. Now, in talking to the mayor, he says that will not be the case. In fact, there will also be no charge for picking up items from storage. Reporting from Costa Mesa, I'm Adam Herbitz, Chapman News.
Costa Mesa officials and members of the church's consortium are looking to find volunteers to offer more free storage. Coming up next, we'll have a sit-down interview with the new SGA Vice President and President-elect and their plans for CU.
And Emily, will this weekend bring out some true spring break weather?
Maritza, I have some great news for you. Spring has sprung in Orange, and yet another reason to celebrate. Our week-long vacation starts tomorrow. I'll tell you what to expect for your spring break forecast coming up on Chapman News.
Oh, sweetheart. Gonna give you a hand?
No thanks, Dad. I got it.
Okay. I'm gonna go fix the lamp in your room.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. She could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Welcome back. I'm Maritza Villela.
And I'm Nicole Chenoweth.
Nicole, so many Chapman students are already on spring break vacation.
I know, and we are still here, but that is okay because we're having a great time. Emily's going to bring us the latest with weather. I know a lot of people, because of spring break, going in and out of John Wayne and LAX. Can you tell us how those airports are looking?
Yes, absolutely. Out of LAX, not seeing a whole lot of delays, but I'll keep you posted on that. We have a beautiful weekend and week coming ahead for us for students heading home or on vacation. But as you know, Wednesday marked the first day of spring and it brought lots of sunshine across the Southland. Chapman spring break officially starts tomorrow, so if you plan to stick around, expect lots of warm temperatures. We're going to take a look at our current local conditions, where the sun rose this morning at 6:52. It's a beautiful day, and we'll see that sun all the way to 7 p.m. this evening. It's currently about 61 degrees, looking at highs getting up to 71 later in the day. Winds about 10 miles per hour coming out of the west. Let's take a look at our conditions throughout the Southland. In Phoenix, we're seeing a very warm 86 degrees today. Up in Vegas, 74, comfortable, cool for spring break. Mild temperatures in San Diego, looking about 62 degrees. We'll see that also in Los Angeles. So for those of you heading to LAX to fly in and out for the weekend, no major delays reported, but if you're looking to fly east or into the Midwest, they're welcoming spring with a winter storm. So be prepared for some possible delays. Some students have already snuck out for the break. Shout out to our fellow newsie Jessica Carroll and her friends enjoying some mischief and Mai Tais in Honolulu. If a staycation is in your future, let's take a look at what to expect for the upcoming week. So very consistent highs, all sitting at 70 all week. See 69, 71, lows 50, 51, very comfortable, mostly sunny all week long. Going to be beautiful here in Orange County. And for all of you Panthers headed up to Lake Havasu for the break, stay safe and enjoy the sunshine. Now I'm looking forward to going back to my home in Idaho, where I can't believe the weather is almost the same as here. Back to you, Maritza and Nicole.
Thank you, Emily.
Yes, thank you, Emily.
Natalia Subotina, new Chapman SGA's president and vice president Chris Im in the studio today.
Yeah, Natalia and Chris, thank you guys so much for coming and congrats on your win.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Natalia, what's your main focus for the new upcoming year?
For the new upcoming year, I think most of our projects that we're going to be working on are pretty joint. I think I speak for both of us when I say that we're really going to be focusing on closing some of the social divides on our campus by working closely with UPB to talk about the different kinds of programming coordinations that we can do with different student organizations on campus. Also currently as a Senate, the old Senate, we're working on passing fall break legislation that we can take to Faculty Senate, which will be voted on in May. So hopefully that will go through.
Why is fall break, getting an extension of that, so important to you?
It's just so important because students go for so long without a break. And today we're actually going to be voting on whether we're going to be putting it in October or extending all of Thanksgiving. And I think both options are great just because it's more break for students. And if it's Thanksgiving, students get a longer time with their families and cheaper flights. But if it's in October, then students get a break in between a 12-week period with no breaks.
Chris, as VP, how do you plan on helping her with these plans?
I think we work really well together as a team. During the campaign, it was evident that we really complemented each other really well. Whenever she has any problems or issues that she's not necessarily sure about on certain aspects about the socioeconomic statuses of certain students that I might have a better I might have a better knowledge on, then I've hoped to help to educate her and hope to kind of bounce things off. In the same way, I'm hoping that she'll teach me about certain things on campus that I might not necessarily know about.
Definitely. Major student concerns have been getting into classes. How do you plan to change that? You know, it's been really hard to get into classes and sometimes they're not able to get into them.
Right. I mean, as students, we don't actually have, control over the registrar and the different policies and structures. We can't just go in and change them, but it is important to be having those conversations and constantly providing that feedback and kind of putting a sense of urgency on that issue. I think the administrators know that growing enrollment is an issue and it's affecting students in many ways, not just, you know, getting into classes, but housing and things like that. And I think just constantly communicating that and offering suggestions is the best we can do, but definitely having that conversation open on the table.
And speaking of those suggestions, I think Panthers are pretty loud about what they want to see going on around their school. And why wouldn't they? It's their school. How do you plan on listening to the voices of all of the students that do have suggestions and different things that they want to see going on around Chapman?
I think through our campaign, we did a lot of outreach to different clubs and organizations. I think it's a matter of maintaining those relationships and going back and constantly asking students for feedback. It's just everyday conversation, whether you're in a class or you're having lunch with your friends, just bring it up, being, hey, what do you think is a good way to do that?
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us, and congratulations again. I'm very excited to see what you guys do with Chapman this coming year.
Definitely, thank you.
Chapman unveiled a new science center, a new research science center this week. Leah Freeman has more on the renovated schoolhouse facility.
The ribbon is cut and the doors are open. The renovated Cypress Schoolhouse is now home to Chapman University's Child Development Research Program. Community members gathered Tuesday for the ceremony welcoming the newest addition to Schmidt College.
You can see the evolution of this place into a beautiful, beautiful renovated building today.
The halls are filled with pictures and memories dating back to the days when the elementary school was an active educational center. The 1928 schoolhouse is significant for being the last standing Mexican-American segregated school in Southern California. In 2005, the Orange Barrio Historical Society teamed up with Chapman to begin work on the school renovation project. The goal? To preserve the school's value within the community. Alumni reminisced about their favorite childhood moments at the grand opening event.
I have good memories of this school. I slept here in the kindergarten, gave me breakfast, and we had a shower.
The restoration of the schoolhouse took a year to complete and cost $2.8 million. Reporting from the Cypress Schoolhouse, I'm Leah Freeman, Chapman News.
There are currently 5 students involved with the research projects. Chapman predicts this number will increase once the program takes off.
On Thursday, the American Civil Liberties Union called on the Anaheim City Council to establish an independent civilian-based review board charged with overseeing the Anaheim Police Department's 351 active duty officers and reviewing allegations of misconduct. The public plea came one day after Orange County District Attorney Tony Rakakis opted not to charge an Anaheim police officer with fatally shooting Manuel Diaz on July 21st. In a statement, Anaheim Police Association President Carrie Condon said, "This investigation reveals the true difficulty and danger that our police officers face each day in our gang and crime-ridden neighborhoods, and the fact that Manuel Diaz was a violent gang member."
The housing market continues to improve here and elsewhere, so much so that the number of underwater homeowners, those who owe more than their house is worth, is shrinking quickly. Just 1 year ago, nearly a quarter of all U.S. homeowners were underwater. That figure is now down to 21%. The importance of having equity in one's homes can't be overstated. Homes equity is America's #1 source of wealth, and homeowners who have equity in their homes are much more likely to make larger purchases to decorate and improve them. Housing value is boosted by a slow but steady improving economy and a record shortage of homes for sale.
The Orange County image is generally one of affluence, beaches, and some of the safest cities in the country. To be sure, that describes a fair slice of the county life. Sabrina Walker reports from Costa Mesa.
A full crowd for the OC Forum's annual report card on Orange County. Known as the Community Indicator Series, researchers look at every facet of Orange County life, including education, housing, and healthcare. There were some disturbing trends.
And all population age groups grew except the 25 to 34-year-olds for the last 10 years. 25 to 34-year-olds. Where's Austin's growth? 25 to 34-year-olds.
There's still a lot of good about living in the 6th largest county in the country. Tourism is growing at 15%. It's one of the best places to do business, and the high school dropout rate, believe it or not, has fallen.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Orange County is a great place to live, but there's always things that we can improve upon.
What this discussion means today is that these community indicator reports can be used to help all of us as policymakers, people, nonprofits, government, private sector, all be on the same page about solving Orange County's problems. And for that reason alone, it's a terrific day.
The importance of the annual report isn't just that business and community leaders read it, but that they act upon it. From Irvine, California, Sabrina Walker, Chapman News.
Some other findings from the county report: almost 40% of high schoolers here are either overweight or obese. And the OC is now a majority to minority county. Whites make up less than half Orange County's population.
According to the Bloomberg News, private business owners owned by women have grown in number and hired more workers than male-owned businesses.
More Al Black is live in Anaheim for the Women's Business Owners Conferences. More.
I'm here at the second annual Women Business Owners Conference in Anaheim at the Marriott, and I'm here with Elizabeth Arteaga, the co-chair of the conference. So, Elizabeth, who can we expect to hear speaking at the conference today?
We have a couple of speakers signed up. For example, for the lunch session, we have Liz Vogel. She has a great background. She's been on NBC, CNN. One of her customers is like Quaker Oats and people like that too. In the morning, we had Lee Cloud, where he is the guru of marketing. He actually worked very closely with Steve Jobs. So he kind of talked about his relationship and how he got to where he is right now too. And in the afternoon, we're going to have 5 success business women, and they're going to be talking about what they did in order to succeed in the business world.
Great. And the women in the business industry face a lot of issues today. So what kind of issues do they face, and how do you guys help them conquer that?
Okay, it's a very interesting question. Web.com did a survey, I think last February, and they were talking about that there is more optimism for business women owners. 8 out of 10 business women owners, they actually are more optimism than in 2011. So one of the issues that they face is obviously access to capital. Before, a couple years back, access to capital was very difficult to get. But now, with the economy, with the downturn of the economy, there are actually more businesses getting access to capital through different banks and microlenders.
Great. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. It's definitely amazing to see how these women are trying to succeed in the industry. And so that's all we have for you. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Moore. Football, Bruins, and Clippers. Only one segment brings you all of these.
Wes Rapaport is bringing us the latest in the sports world.
That's right, ladies. After the break, the madness continues. UCLA looking to make their mark on the NCAA tourney. Plus, an NFL star calls on his upbringing to teach youngsters sportsmanship. We're back in a moment with sports.
Turning a 20-foot wall into a canvas takes vision. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous.
What? Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
Up to 40% of businesses never recover after experiencing a major disaster. Make a plan at ready.gov/business.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Maritza Villela.
And I'm Nicole Chenoweth.
Nicole, with basketball season right around the corner, have you filled out your March Madness bracket yet?
I haven't gotten around to it yet, but Wes, I know that you have.
Of course.
So can you tell us what's going on with sports and tell us about that March Madness?
Absolutely. St. Louis Rams wide receiver Austin Pettis, home for the offseason. He hosted a free football clinic at his own high school. Emily Valla has the story.
Normally, Austin Pettis would be catching that pass from the St. Louis Rams quarterback. But today, the NFL player and Boise State star wide receiver is hosting a free football clinic for kids in Orange County.
I just really enjoy giving back. I know as a younger kid, a lot of older people helped me and were able to steer me in the right path and get that older knowledge, so I just like to come back and try and give that as well.
The second annual Austin Pettis Clinic is put on with help from the Dream Team Foundation, a group that assists athletes in creating their charities.
Being a professional athlete and here in his hometown, obviously his name is very recognizable.
But Austin isn't the only recognizable coach of the day. He invited along a few friends with Super Bowl rings.
That's what you dream of, is being on top of the world, basically.
And these pros want the kids to build the foundation that can get them to that dream.
You want to make sure that you're just teaching them to listen to their parents and do the right things. And, you know, at this age, they all know right from wrong.
Austin is still listening to his mom, who does a large part in running the Austin Pettis Foundation.
Big boys can teach them, you know, skills, but not only that, just teach them just to do good in school and to, you know, show up and be ready for everything they've got to do in life and to give it their all.
Let's do it one more time. We want to go one more time.
I do.
I know these kids will be talking about it for weeks, and it makes their day, it makes their week, and they remember it for a long, long time.
And the biggest lesson of the day for all the kids? Hard work pays off. Austin and all those involved with the Austin Pettis Foundation look forward to making the free clinic an annual event. And they're creating more opportunities for young athletes. Reporting from Orange Lutheran High School, I'm Emily Valla, Chapman News.
Thanks, Emily. Up next for the Austin Pettis Foundation is their second annual celebrity basketball tournament in June. Austin will be off to train with the Rams, but the tourney will be here in Orange County. And the LA Clippers holding on to the third seed in the Western Conference. They took on the 76ers last night at Staples Center. Blake Griffin and Chris Paul, they're getting loose. Lob City would live up to its name. We're in the first. That is Caron Butler with the slam. Clippers were down 12-4 to that point. He is then fouled for the basket and one. Butler, one of 5 Clippers players scoring in double digits. And then, is that Chris Paul leading the fast break? No, that's Blake Griffin. He throws up to DeAndre Jordan, knows exactly what to do with that one. We got to show you again, Clippers stoked. Clippers now in complete control, up by 14, and Chris Paul makes it look oh so easy, getting past Spencer Hawes and then making it to the rim for the lay-in. Paul with 19 points in the night and 9 assists for the Clips. Final score 101-72. And Anaheim Ducks looking for a chance to get within 1 point of the #1 team in the league tonight when they host the Detroit Red Wings. They faced that #1 team, the Chicago Blackhawks, on Wednesday. We go to the video. Ducks pressing the Blackhawks. Luka Spiza shoots wide of the goal, but Peter Holland plays the deflection off the boards for the goal. Ducks up early, 1-0. Then the Ducks, later in the first period, they're on the power play. Jonathan Taves outskates everybody to the puck, finishes with a nice backhand. Check that one out. Game tied 1 apiece. We move to the second period now. Blackhawks on the power play. Patrick Kane, he gets the puck to Nick Leddy. At the point, locked and loaded, that's a goal. Blackhawks up 2-1. Then the Blackhawks' Johnny Oduya puts a shot on goal. The deflection put in by Brandon Bolig for his first ever NHL goal, or so we thought. But after review, it's ruled the puck was kicked in. No goal there. Blackhawks still up 2-1. We're into the third period now. Game tied 2 apiece. Ryan Getzlaf comes up with a loose puck in the neutral zone. He sets up Teemu Solani for the goal and the lead. Ducks win it 4-2. It's mid-March, and that means one thing for college hoops fans: the madness is in full swing. Shabazz Muhammad leads the #6 ranked UCLA Bruins offensively, averaging over 17 points per game. They take on Minnesota tonight in Austin, Texas. The bracket challenge escapes nobody. Everyone's bracket filled out. President Obama, he's getting in on the action as well. He picked Minnesota to beat UCLA. That being said, he also picked against Harvard, where he got his law degree. The president chose Indiana to defeat Louisville in the championship game. And spring break on its way for Chapman, but Chapman sports does not rest. Here's a look at the week ahead in Chapman athletics. For those of you watching live in the Student Union, as soon as the show is over, head on over to El Camino Park to catch the softball team facing Linfield at 2 p.m. Softball then continues on the road tomorrow at Claremont. Game time 2 p.m. as well. Men's tennis hosting Pacific Lutheran Sunday at noon. And women's lacrosse takes on Linfield Wilson Field Monday 12 p.m. for the start on that one. Baseball hosts Redlands for a doubleheader next Saturday at Hart Park. First pitch at 11 a.m. That's bound to be a good one out there at Hart Park. And to wrap it up, Lakers hoping Pau and Kobe will be healthy enough to play tonight. Purple and gold in the number 8 spot right now. If the season ended at this moment, they'd face the 1 seed San Antonio. That's it for sports, ladies.
Thanks, Wes.
Thank you, Wes. March Madness, obviously a very big deal. Sure you're very excited about
Absolutely.
that. Tell us some of your picks.
Okay, well, right now I've got Indiana to win it all over Wisconsin, but Mizzou destroyed my bracket. I had them going a lot farther than they did, and they lost it last night. So, but I'm winning the bracket challenge with Sabrina Walker.
Congratulations.
So we're doing well.
That's great news. All right, well, everyone get ready for my favorite segment. It's coming up with Kaylee Davis. What's going on in the entertainment world, Kaylee?
Coming up in entertainment, Chapman on Broadway debuted Little Shop of Horrors this week, and I'll tell you what to see, where to be, and who to watch this weekend after the break.
Yay!
Yes, go! Yes! No! Come on!
Oops.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy.
Works every time.
Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Maritza Villela.
And I'm Nicole Chenoweth. Thank you so much for staying with us.
So, Nicole, Jay Leno is finally giving up his reign as the late-night king.
I don't know. I do like Jimmy Fallon, though, so I would not mind seeing him take the Tonight Show. But, Kaylee, can you tell us more about that?
That's right, Nicole and Maritza, but first, let's take a look at a little Chapman entertainment. Man-eating plants and sadistic dentists, poor people who can sing surprisingly well. All these misfit things found home on Memorial Hall stage Wednesday and Thursday night. Little Shop of Horrors debuted, brought to life by Chapman on Broadway. One university blog, Little Shop is sure to dazzle you. So how exactly did it dazzle audiences? Its story takes place in 1960s Skid Row, where Seymour Krelborn, orphan floral shop owner, discovers a strange species of unidentified flytrap. Audiences found themselves caught up in a story of how far someone will go to get everything they ever wanted. And live from New York, it's The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Those are words that the more nocturnal audiences may be hearing somewhat soon. NBC has asked Fallon to host The Tonight Show as early as 2014 and even move it from its place here on the West Coast back to the East in New York City, according to the New York Times. Could the network be ousting their Tonight Show host because of his not-so-slight jabs at the NBC network and ratings? Leno has even called network execs snakes in a recent monologue, likely a sign that he already got word of the new succession plan. NBC originally offered the show to Conan O'Brien in 2009, who declined and later accepted a buyout offer, landing him his own show on TBS. And internet dating isn't showing much love for ABC News' 2020. The broadcast and former host Chris Cuomo are currently facing a libel lawsuit for an episode that aired 20 months ago regarding the OC internet dating story Gone Wrong, supposedly. In the episode, ABC was making implications that David Williams had looted his ex-girlfriend, Kelly Cahill, of her fortune as an internet con artist. Within days of the show airing, Williams filed for a libel lawsuit. It turns out Cahill met Williams from a personal ad on Match.com. The two met, fell in love, and even bought a Costa Mesa home together. So where was the trouble in paradise? Orange County Judge Franz E. Miller has refused to dismiss the issue, stating that even though Williams is a private figure, his reputation was still unfairly tainted, and a future jury is to further discuss the case. And Orange County, are you ready to practice your right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of fashion? Orange County Fashion Week celebrates its 4th year in the Southland with In the Pursuit of Fashion, OC Fashion Week, presented by the OC Fashion Association. The event kicked off Tuesday, March 19th. The show features runways, parties, and lectures from some of Orange County's established and emerging designers. The events will take place all over Orange County, including South Coast Plaza and Laguna Beach. OC Fashion Week will continue its hot pursuit through Sunday the 24th. And off the runway and onto the cover of some rather revealing magazines, a senior at Sherman Oaks High School asked supermodel Kate Upton to his prom via YouTube. Annie Ackerman gives us the details of one lucky teen.
Hey Kate, Jake Davidson here in sunny Los Angeles, inviting you to my senior prom on May 23rd, 2013.
17-year-old Jake Davidson did not expect Kate Upton to respond to his YouTube video, which went viral. Well, she did respond via Twitter, and the even bigger surprise came on Wednesday during the Today Show. Take a look. Kate, good morning to you.
What?
Good morning. How are you guys?
This just got so much better now that you're on the phone. Okay, I'm telling you, it'll be a great night, great evening. What time should I pick you up if you're interested?
Everything worked out. I'd love to go with you.
It was incredible. I did not know she was going to be on the phone. That was quite the surprise. Wow.
I think at this point, I mean, she's already talked to him twice, and I just think it would be incredible and just shows that social media can do anything.
Still no confirmation from the supermodel, but Davison is hopeful that he won't have to make a plan B. Reporting for Chapman News, Annie Ackerman.
Upton has until May 23rd to let Davidson know if his dream date will come true. Well, that wraps it up for your entertainment news. Ladies, what do you think? Will Kate Upton say yes?
Well, I think so, and now I feel tempted to tweet Nick Jonas and ask him to formal.
Yeah. He seemed really starstruck, so let's hope if Kate Upton does say yes, he does not pass out on her during prom night.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, log on to our website, chapmannews.tv, to see all of our episodes, Chapman News e-bios, and top headlines.
And make sure to also follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Chapman News, Twitter @Chapman News, and YouTube at youtube.com/Chapman News. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're on cam 4.